for starting us off with this relaxing music and deep stretching. And so today we are going to continue our Zoom at Noon Medical Cannabis series. So I'm Melinda Toussaint, your friendly family nurse practitioner, coming to you live in Bowie, Maryland. But for those who are seeing the replay virtually, I want to say hello to you guys too. So today we are going to, I'm saying we, but I am going to answer your top questions that people have asked me about medical cannabis. Now, for those who are first joining us, we went over some questions last week about CBD, THC, what are terpenes, what are cannabinoids, what's the endocannabinoid system. And for those who wasn't able to join us, please go on to MariCare Wellness YouTube channel, which we have the playback, and also on MariCare Wellness YouTube channel, we have anything from health, wellness, medical cannabis, fitness, weight loss, and all of those in between. And if there are some topics that you guys want me to cover, please put it in the comment box or email me directly at info@maricarewellness.com. And that is Mary with the I, as you see right here, MariCare Wellness, or text me directly at 240-206-7004. And I encourage you guys to stay to the very end because, as always, I'm going to give you guys a special gift. So for all of those who are here live, either it's Facebook or on Zoom, or watching the playback later on our YouTube channel, I'm gonna provide you a special gift, but it's only valid for 24 hours after you have emailed me directly. So let's get started. So I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions, and these are going to be what I'm going to go over today. So I just want to see where you are at as far as your level of knowledge with cannabis. So does anyone know what states that cannabis is legal? If you do know, type in yes in the comment box or why. And if you don't know, type in tell me more and I will tell you more. Now, next, do you know what the qualifying conditions that is needed in your state in order for you to get a medical cannabis card? If you know, put yes or why, but if you don't know, just put tell me more. And do you know how to get a card? And I'm going to just cover where I am, the local states. But for those who are in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, do you guys know the process on how to get a medical cannabis card? If you do, type Y or say yes in the comment box. But if you don't, say tell me more, and also put the state that you're in, okay? And lastly, do you know how to find a dispensary in your area? Type in yes or Y for it that you do, but if not, tell me, put in tell me more. Okay, so those are the topics we're gonna cover today as we continue part 2 of our Cannabis 101 Zoom at Noon series. So let me first share my screen because I'm going to start off telling you guys what states cannabis is legal. And so let me put that on. So just give me a moment. Can you guys see that? All right, so to answer your question, so just about every state in the United States have some type of legality and either recreational use of cannabis or medicinal use of cannabis. And when I say cannabis, that is marijuana, sometimes people say, or ganja for slang or whatever it is, medical marijuana, cannabis, and all of that. And also there are some states that allow CBD So since the 2018 Farm Bill that was passed, they allow CBD in all 50 states except for the red states. So that is Idaho, South Dakota, and also I just draw a blank, Nebraska. So the red states are the ones that there are no cannabis program, there's no CBD program, it's strictly illegal, but less than 0.3% of THC in your cannabis product are legal in those medicinal states. And I also want to go on to our next question. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen. All right, we're back here with me. So the next question is, so now you know what states are legal, what states are medicinal, or what are the red states, like nothing is happening there and all. Now, for those who want to know how to get a card, I'm going to review that with you. So with every state that has recreational use or medicinal use, it's always a two-step process. And one step could go before another. So one part of the process is seeing a certified medical provider in your state. And it's not just any medical provider, like you're going to your primary care or going to your specialist. They have to be certified in that state to be able to issue you a card. And then typically they'll either give you an application number or a certifying number or a written certificate or some type of document that that state's medical cannabis program allow and provide it to you, either in hand or electronically, and all is different from state to state. And then the other process is applying or creating an account or submitting that information to that state. So with that written certification, the application number, or whatever that medical provider gave to you, you have to submit it to the state. So in Maryland, it's that you have to first go to Maryland State Commission, which is Maryland Medical Cannabis Commission, and get an application number, and then you see a medical provider. But for in this area like DC and Virginia, you see the medical provider first, and they will provide you with that approval, and then you submit it to the state. So even just in this area, and I know some of you guys are in different areas, but I'm just solely providing you information for Maryland, where I'm now, DC, which is our neighbor, and also Virginia from below. Now, some of you guys want to know what to expect at a medical cannabis appointment. So during the appointment with that medical provider, typically they want two different things. You need to have a valid state ID, and those identification could be like a driver's license or identification card that shows a picture of yourself, your name, address. Also, sometimes people submit their passport as a valid proof of identification, but you also need to do something else that has your state address, because to verify that you are in that state that you're trying to get your medical cannabis card. And and another thing that you need is medical documentations. Either some states require to have it in hand during your appointment. Other states, they say that you have to have access to it just in case if it's asked of you to provide those medical documentation, that you have it easily accessible to provide the state or the medical provider. And also, again, proof of identity for that state that you're trying to apply. And then the other thing is medical documentation. And since COVID, you could also, some states are allowing you to have your visit via telehealth or remotely or virtually, just kind of like what we're doing now, or over the phone, or some of them are still requiring you to come in person. So I'm thankful that we do have telemedicine or telehealth or virtual options, either video like this or over the phone. And So during the appointment, typically the medical providers review your health history, whatever it may, is going on. And there are qualifying conditions for that state. And I'm going to review some qualifying conditions in a moment. And then they'll do a general assessment and all of that. And then by the end of the appointment, they'll either determine that, yes, your condition does qualify for a medical cannabis certification or card, or no, you don't. So every state have different regulations. So but typically in different states, like some examples of qualifying conditions are, so some of you guys asked that, it could be any, generally it's a condition that you have used regular measures like have tried a lot of medication, physical therapy, or whatever, something that is chronic that you still are dealing with. And those other modalities didn't work, so now you're seeking something else that is natural to help provide relief to your conditions. And conditions could be anything between, let's say, chronic pain, that's a major one, chronic and severe pain, stress, anxiety, depression, cancer, muscle spasms, loss of appetite, anorexia, you're not eating, nausea, like chronic issues like that. And every state is different. So it's important that you go online and do your research for your state. And the qualifying condition that I said is not solely for Maryland or DC, Virginia. There's a lot of different qualifying conditions. And also, if you meet one of those criteria, you're able to get a card. But do go on to your state medical cannabis program to find out what is their qualifying condition list. But Maryland has this other box. So the other box, if it's not listed on one of the qualifying conditions, it's really anything else that you have tried conventional treatment, like I said before, let's say on medication for years, like let's say high blood pressure, you were on it for years and still nothing has helped, or you had chronic pain for years and you still are experiencing chronic pain and going to your pain management specialist and being like, I think I need an increase, it's still not being managed, like different things like that, or even like cancer, or you're going through chemo or very nauseous and all that, but you tried other conventional treatments and still have not gotten relief, and then your medical provider recommended medical cannabis as an alternative. So, and I do want to let you guys know, not all medical providers are on board with medical cannabis. So sometimes people have came to me and saying that their provider said that they're kicking them out of, discharging them from their practice because they're going this way, or their medical providers like, just try it so they don't feel any way, or their medical provider is the one that said, yeah, I recommend that maybe this is a way that you should go, and find someone who is certifying to go. So it is a range of different perspectives, emotions, and all of that, stigmas against medical cannabis, even in the medical community, unfortunately. But I always say, knowledge is power. Once they're educated and find the medicinal benefits, the therapeutic benefits that medical cannabis has, and they also see you improve, they tend to change their mind and be like, oh, maybe it is working or real. So I do encourage my patients, like when they're to notify their medical provider, or if their medical provider say, hey, seem like you're getting better and all, what has changed, share, because it will also help make them a believer. Because I had the same issue with my medical provider. First, they weren't a believer, but then they saw a difference in my health, and it opted them to be a believer. And so I always say education is key. Now, another thing is, so how to find a local dispensary. So now this patient, or maybe you in the future, or now you have, submitted your documents or created an account with the state, you saw a medical provider, you are approved, and then what's next? How do you find a dispensary and all? A legal dispensary, of course. And I always say go to a legal dispensary, because remember back last November, there was a vape, crisis going on of people using some vapes that were on the black market, or got it online or wherever it may be, but it wasn't third party tested. They got sick. So that's why it's important to get it at an official dispensary that they have tested the product, the device it's in, it's third party tested and all that. So it's recognized as safe. So I tell my patients that they could do a couple things to find a local dispensary. Usually, well, it should be on all state medical cannabis states' website, they have a link to their dispensaries in the area or in that state. So that is one way. So go on to your state cannabis program's website to find what dispensaries are there in the state. Another thing that you can do, but it's not as accurate, is, and I'm not endorsing these companies, but Weed Maps and Leafly have an app that lists at least 50% of the dispensaries in the area. And so those are like, it's a Google Maps for dispensaries. So like I said, most dispensaries, are a good majority of dispensaries are on Weed Maps and Leafly, and then you could go in and put in your location or the location that you're trying to visit and see what local dispensaries are on there. And some dispensaries are, you could either call them ahead of time to place an order. You could also, some of them have an app, or do curbside pickup, or they allow you to come in with the proper COVID procedures that you have to follow. So those are different ways to find a dispensary in your area. And if there are other questions that you want me to answer that I did not today, feel free to put it in the comment box and I'll be sure to get back to you. So other ways that you could submit your question is texting me at 240-206-7004, as well as emailing me directly at info, like information, info at MariCareWellness.com. So MariCare wellness.com, and send me your question so that I could answer it, or you could post it directly online, and I'll make sure to get back to you. So I want to thank you all today for joining us. But next week, we're going to have a very special guest. And do you guys want a clue who that special guest is? If you do, type in clue. And if at least 5 or more of you type in clue, I will give you a clue. So, But if you don't want a clue, I don't have to share. I'm not going to overstep my bound. I see a couple of people typing a clue. Oh, okay. I guess you guys do want a clue. All right. So this clue is, and if you know the answer, please don't spoil it for the other people. Just keep the mental note. And because next week it will get revealed who that special guest is. But this special guest is one of the youngest, first Black medical dispensary owners in Maryland, but not only in Maryland, in the entire United States. Do you guys know who it is? Type, if you think you do, put in a Y, but don't type in the answer so that it won't be a spoiler for the other people. So if you do know who that person is, type in yes, but if not, to say, tell me next week, or just be here next week. And then so you could find out that answer. So again, I'm Melinda Toussaint, your friendly family nurse practitioner here live in Bowie, Maryland. Please go on to MariCare Wellness YouTube channel and subscribe so that I could send you a notification when we upload our videos about health, wellness, and medical cannabis. And like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that. I really love being interactive and hearing from you guys, because without you guys, I wouldn't be here. And again, thank you for supporting MariCare Wellness, a small Black business, minority-owned business, women-owned, veteran-owned. So yes, I served. And until next time, so tell your friends, and for all of you guys who want a special gift, make sure that you email me or comment or text me. And for those who didn't get the information, email me at info@maricarewellness.com, and also text me at 240-206-7004. And it's a 24-hour gift. So from the time that you text me and I reply back, or one of our friendly staff reply back, that is when the deal starts. So please do not miss out. And also invite a friend. And because when you invite a friend, well, sharing is caring and all, but we provide an extra special gift. So if you do, let me know who you also invited, and you will get another special gift on top of the one that we will provide you. So until next time, enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for spending time with us for our Zoom at noon, starting promptly at 12:15. Take care.